All right, so a few months ago, we made a video talking about who was going to win Rookie of the Year, and I pretty confidently said that it was going to be Scoot. Well, all it took was Victor Wembanyama to play 2 preseason games, and I have completely flipped on that.
Yeah, the dude's looking like an all-star, maybe a top 25 player, all-NBA, MVP. This dude is just looking not even real.
Is he a Hall of Famer already?
I think so. Off those preseason games, put him in.
Let's talk about it. Before we start talking about Wemby, if you haven't already, make sure you leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. So like we said, Wemby has played 2 preseason games so far. By the time this video will go out, he will have played a 3rd, and he's still gonna have 1 to go. And yes, this is the preseason, and Wemby is playing, let's be honest, a lot of guys who are not gonna be on NBA rosters by this time next week. In the 2 games he has played though, he has far exceeded my expectations. I thought he was gonna be good. He has been insane.
I just can't get over how he looks out there. The dude,
I know, right?
I know it's beat to death, but he looks like a real life my career. Like just everything he can do, the length, on defense, on offense, the lob threat, the fact that he's coming off pick and rolls, taking step back jumpers, I can't even believe it.
Nah, he's insane. He's averaged 21.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks on over 60% shooting. And the craziest thing to me, he's doing all this in 21 minutes per game.
The efficiency is there. Everything's there. The only thing is 3-point shot hasn't been super great, but if he adds that and he's a consistent shooter, it's over. How do you stop him at that point?
You don't. And again, it is still preseason, and you know what? He plays a game tomorrow night, as the time of recording this, and maybe he plays like against the Rockets, and then we're like, oh, maybe he's gonna struggle. But as of right now, he's been playing awesome, and you said it, like a guy his size moving like he does on the court, it doesn't compute. Like, all respect to guys like Chet, who also had a great game against Wemby, by the way, or like a Porzingis or other guys that are that big, but the way Wemby moves on the court and like some of the plays this dude has made, like that one where he went right through Chet's chest, got the and one. Now, I'm not sure how long the NBA is gonna let him get away with that headbutt, but it was a good play regardless. But this dude's also, he's hitting step back threes. He hit that spin and like that up and under against Chet. His defense has been awesome. There was one play against Oklahoma City where he kind of got crossed and he still recovered and made the block.
Yeah, that up and under on Chet was just so impressive to me because Chet, we know, is long as hell. He was like the OG unicorn we were talking about last year, and Chet played about as good as defense as you could on Wemby there, but you can't do anything when a guy who's 7'4" goes up and under with a layup.
I mean, there are a lot of guards and wings that can't do that.
Yeah, there's a ton.
And he's 7'4".
He had that alley-oop against Miami where he called for the alley-oop basically from the 3-point line. He's like, throw it up there, I'll go get it, and he definitely got it. He had that dunk on Thomas Bryant that went viral everywhere. Looks like Michael Jordan's dunk on a Space Jam.
Thomas Bryant's face after that dunk, like he just looks over the bench and he has, it's a look of like shock, confusion, and kind of defeat all in one, like all mixed together in a little cauldron. Like it's that look of like, what the f was that? Like Thomas Bryant's a big dude. It's hard to dunk over him. And Wemby just rose up and did it like it was nothing.
He had a couple other plays. There was one where it was a transition, they passed him the ball, he just like glided for an easy dunk. And then they had that one where I think he came off a screen and hit a step back mid-range shot. And KD, who's like what, 6'10", 6'11", we've seen for all these years, like, oh, it's insane that this guy who's almost 7 feet can shoot and handle. And now you got a guy who's like 7'4" doing it.
Well, back in the day, the original one was like Dirk. It was like crazy that a guy Dirk's height could shoot threes. And then it was Durant, he can do the same, he can also handle. And now you got a guy who's 5 inches taller than Kevin Durant, who's doing all the same thing. It's crazy. There are some concerns though. We're not just gonna praise Vic nonstop, as impressive as he's been. I think there are still some concerns. The first and obvious one is his health. Now, he hasn't shown any inkling so far in the preseason of having like, you know, sore knees or any kind of injuries or anything like that. But just with a player as skinny as he is, you always worry about injuries. Every time I watch him play, and maybe this is just a me problem, but I'm always worried one of his legs is just gonna snap in half.
Yeah, I kind of feel that. And the other thing, like we've kind of said, the competition, like he's banging down low against Thomas Bryant. This ain't Embiid, this ain't Jokic, this ain't Giannis. He's gonna have to do a lot more come regular season time.
My second concern is his rebounding. He's only averaging 4.5 rebounds per game so far. Now, this could be due to a couple things. Number one, like we said, he's not really playing that much. He's only playing 21 minutes per game. So stand to reason if he played, say, 35 minutes per game, he may average closer to 8 to 10 rebounds. Also, he shoots over 60% from the field. So he's not missing shots, and his teammates weren't really missing shots either. But I wonder if it's something to keep an eye on, because a guy like Vic, as tall and long as he is he gonna struggle with centers that are bigger than him, like girthier than him?
Yeah, I think he might. A lot of the clips I kind of saw, he wasn't even really boxing out. Like some of the rebounds he'd get, another player would box him out, he just tipped the ball up to himself. So I think that is an area to be slightly concerned, but yeah, we'll have to see in a bigger sample size.
And one more concern is turnovers. 4 turnovers per game. When you're only playing 21 minutes per game, that's way too much. And look, he's a rookie, he's playing in the NBA for the first time. I'm sure he'll get better at not giving the ball up, but you can't be turning the ball over that much.
Yeah, that's going to be a concern. I've been impressed with some of the passes he's been able to make, so there is like a counter side to it, but at the same time, yeah, sometimes he'll just kind of jump up for a shot and then pass it away, or it doesn't seem like he knows completely what he's doing before the play begins.
Well, there's that meme. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
exactly. So maybe that's carried over a little bit.
So we'll have to see. I'm sure, yeah, as a rookie, he'll just learn those things, but for now, that'll hurt him a little bit.
So I mentioned at the beginning how I've flipped, and look, I would love it for Scoot to win Rookie of the Year. I'm still going to be rooting for him to win Rookie of the Year, but I can't deny the undeniable. And so far, Wemby's been undeniable. It is preseason, it's 2 games, but holy shit, he's been good. And in our last video when we were talking who were going to win Rookie of the Year, I mentioned how I thought Wemby might struggle with it because of the 65 game rule in the new CBA. I thought it was going to be a hindrance because I feel like, he's going to miss a game here or there from injuries, and also the Spurs are going to rest him because it's what the Spurs do. Apparently that rule doesn't apply to Rookie of the Year, so all bets are off.
Well, I picked Wemby for Rookie of the Year in that video, and I'm feeling even better about it now. I don't know if he'll actually make like an all-star team. I think the Spurs would have to be pretty good for that to happen, but he's gonna put up the stats. The highlight reel from this year is just gonna be absolutely ridiculous, so I think he easily wins Rookie of the Year. I hope Scoot can do it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't either. And long term, Wemby in San Antonio, as much as I would have loved to see him in Portland, but in San Antonio, I think it's just the perfect fit. One of the concerns of Wemby was that he was kind of an average passer, and like you said, I've been impressed with his passing so far with the Spurs. I think especially when he gets double teamed, if he can learn to pass out of double teams, I think he's going to be even better, and I think the Spurs are going to be really hammering that home to him because they're obviously the team where it's, give up a good shot for a better shot. If he could put on some weight, that would be great. I just worry that maybe he's one of those guys that's so big and so long that it's really kind of impossible for him to do. Overall, I'm just literally praying that he can remain relatively injury-free for the next 10 to 15 years, because just watching him in the preseason so far has been an absolute joy, and I can't wait to see him against actual NBA competition.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. He has actually put on a little bit of weight. I know there was the report he put on maybe 10 to 15 pounds, so there's a little bit there. We'll give it time and see what he can do throughout his career. And also, he's got Zach Collins there with him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Maybe he won't have to bang too hard down low.
Zach's gonna be watching his back.
Yeah, Zach will stick up for a guy. I remember that time with Clay when he was ready to throw down. So I'm excited to see him. I think the Spurs, they obviously hit a diamond in the rough here, and they got a generational player. And we'll have to see what he does this season.
God help the world if Wemby develops like Giannis developed.
Oh, God.
In 5 years, if Wemby's just f***ing like 7'5" and 275 pounds and shredded.
If he can still shoot, then the rest of the league is finished. This dude might be the GOAT.
That's the video, guys. What do you think Wemby's going to be this year in the NBA? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.